In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the current conditions. We're also going to be diving into the upcoming pattern. Yesterday, we took an overall look at the wintertime. You can check that out by checking out the channel, and it will be the most recent video uploaded besides this one. But this one is going to be more focused on the upcoming pattern through the next 15 days. And already just looking at the current conditions, there isn't a whole lot going on right now outside of the colder air in the eastern United States. We don't have a major storm out here, or really, quite frankly, a major storm out here. That's more of a moderate storm taking place at this point. As we take a look at the west, I mean, not even a whole lot happening whatsoever. We will take a look here at this pocket of snowfall showers across Montana, though, Wyoming, and the Dakotas in here, because we do have some of these snow showers happening in here, as you can see. They're pretty sporadic, and they're, I would say, light to moderate snowfall showers. And they're just passing through pretty innocently, not really leading towards many impacts other than just some pretty flakes flying out of the sky. So more of a positive than a negative, I would say, for most people. As we take a look here, looking at our Great Lakes region, we can tell there's a whole lot of lake effect snowfall happening and even just snow showers moving across the lakes. We can see near Minneapolis as well, we do have these very light snowfall showers that have set up over the region. And working our way northward, we also see near Duluth and Ashland here in Minnesota and Wisconsin. We also have some snow showers around here. But it's once we move into the upper peninsula of Michigan, this is where we start to really see this lake effect snowfall occurring. And when we zoom in near Marquette and surrounding areas, we see these whites and blues indicating extremely heavy snowfall coming down for these regions, which isn't a big surprise considering this is lake effect snowfall. This occurs very frequently in lake effect events, very, very heavy snowfall, some of the heaviest that really exists. Now, as we take a look at the lower peninsula of Michigan, we can also see a lot of areas in here, especially the northern and the western edges here of Michigan. We're seeing plenty of this moderate to heavy snowfall occurring in here as well. As we work our way southward, we see this is also bringing impacts all the way through southern Michigan into northern Indiana there, and then even northwestern Ohio as well. And what's interesting is as we look up near Canada, up here in London, Canada, Kitchener as well, these areas we see a very large and very heavy band of this snowfall occurring, this lake effect snowfall, and I'm sure that is the heaviest snowfall ongoing currently. That looks insane. Near Cleveland, we have this lake effect occurring as well. I don't know if it is actually, in fact, rainfall very close to the coast here, but that's what this radar is saying. And then snowfall a little bit further inland. So I'm unsure what the case is right now, but we also see some of this occurring here for New York, Erie, Pennsylvania, and surrounding regions in there as well. Now, outside of this lake effect region, we do have a low pressure system up here, as you can see, and then a stretching cold front all the way down to Florida here, as you can see. So we'll start in Florida and then work our way up. We do have some storminess developing around this cold front. Obviously, not a huge surprise. When we see cold fronts, we typically see storminess with them. So that is the case at this point. As we work our way northward, we can see all the way down through North Carolina and Virginia, we did have some impacts from this one taking place. And then also for West Virginia into Pennsylvania, Maryland, we do have some showers as well taking place. I don't know if that's with this system up here or out here, but it is taking place in between them. We can see that this low has a warm front out here, cold front underneath, very, very typical stuff. And this is bringing precipitation to southern New England especially, and then offshore of the mid-Atlantic. Even up into northern New England, we're seeing some of these showers and potentially thunderstorms extend northward. And these are just going to continue to climb northward through New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine throughout the day today. So keep that in mind. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on and we're going to take a look at the upcoming pattern. We're going to see how all of this is going to progress and really what's upcoming over the next 15 days. All right, now here we are taking a look at things. As you can see, we do have these snow showers currently taking place, like we mentioned, and this low offshore of the mid-Atlantic and southern New England. As we continue things on, we can see what's going to happen is it's going to move up towards coastal Maine, this low, and this is going to kind of reinforce some cold air behind itself and bring some snowfall more to New England, New Hampshire, Vermont, northern Maine as well, seeing some snowfall from this event. And that spreads throughout a lot of Maine, actually, throughout the day on Sunday into Monday. That's today, so I don't know why I just said it that way. So later today into Monday, we're going to be seeing some of that moderate to heavy snowfall, and then things kind of move out. Our next system that develops is down here in the south central United States. Again, snowfall on our northern edge and then rainfall on our southern edge here. And this one develops in a very far southern area for Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri there. Very, very abnormal weather. And this kind of moves up here, as you can see, to where we're seeing most of these impacts for the upper Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and the interior northeastern United States. It looks like widespread snowfall showers, as well as some more moderate and heavy pockets, perhaps, of some snowfall. As well as for the northeast here, we see some snowfall taking place. So definitely very interesting stuff taking place. And eventually, this ends up just like our current storm we're seeing, bringing snowfall to Maine at the very end. Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont, all of these New England regions seeing some of that snowfall. This time around, very far south there in New England, actually, perhaps. So pretty interesting stuff, and that would be by Wednesday into Thursday there. We can see we're kind of left with a very strong trough in the east, where primarily the most cold air is located here. Later this week, things are only going to get colder and colder and colder. This is Friday the 18th we're taking a look at here, and we can see more lake effect perhaps next weekend, Friday into Saturday taking place, it appears, with that colder air overhead. And look at Saturday. We see another system, again, developing in a similar region. Rainfall to the south, snowfall to the north. Same exact story, but this one kind of just dips down. What's interesting, instead of rising up like this, like we saw with the previous one, we see this system actually head further south, and then it wants to move around and become a nor'easter. So we'll track this one as it takes place. We see it dip down, and look, cold air is moving in just with it. We'll see the cold air moving in, and then the storm system moving up. So watch as this progresses. I'll play it a couple times in a row here. We see the storm system moving up and the cold air moving down there. But it looks like the storm system moves a little too fast for the cold air, I would say. We can see the cold air moving down, but we see the storm moves out too quickly. But timing definitely could change, so we'll pay attention to that. Definitely could play a factor. As this one moves through the southeast, we can see this brings a lot of storminess in general to the southeast. Probably the low is somewhere here off the southeast. And this cold air is just not meeting up with it in time. But if it did, who knows what this could be like here around Monday the 21st, Tuesday the 22nd time frame. We see this nor'easter right here, bringing a lot of storminess onshore here to the mid-Atlantic. Definitely snowfall there for some of the Appalachian Mountains, but definitely not meeting up with the cold air perfectly like it could. We see a low developing here in the northwest, kind of a clipper system it looks like. That nor'easter kind of innocently moves off. Some more cold air moves in, and we see this clipper kind of bring some snowfall showers in here, but doesn't really extend to the eastern end of things. This is when things get really interesting. We see a stronger low develop here across the middle of the country, bringing widespread snowfall perhaps through the northern plains, the Rockies, the upper Midwest as well by Thursday the 24th. And then we start to see more of our snowfall primarily in the west. But this is where I'm taking it with a grain of salt. We've seen this model try to switch things up multiple times, where it tries to bring the cold air to the west. It tries to bring warm air to the entire United States, but right around this hour 300 mark seems to be where it's been really messing up lately. So we're going to take this with a grain of salt. We do see perhaps a snowstorm across the northern United States for the upper Midwest and northeast, but again, take it with a big grain of salt. I really don't think this is going to end up being too accurate. This does bring heavy, heavy, heavy snowfall to New England, but again, accuracy is definitely in question. And by this point, we kind of go back to a pattern like this, where New England's pretty cold, but the rest of the east is quite warm here. And we have a full-blown negative PNA taking place here. So that's the negative PNA out here, bringing snowfall to the west, perhaps a major snowstorm, but again, not really buying it yet. Now, for total precipitation through the next 10 or 15 days here, anywhere in the whites, we're expecting practically no precipitation. Your grays, 1/10 of an inch or less of precipitation. Your greens, 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. Your blues, 1/2 an inch to an inch. Yellows, 1 inch to 2 inches. And then reds, 2 to 5 inches of precipitation. Browns even being 5 to 10 inches. And then blues, 10 inches plus. So for the Sierra Nevadas there, it looks like potentially 10 inches plus. Most of that probably snowfall, which means gargantuan amounts of snowfall, basically. As we take a look at the total snowfall, it's very clear that that is the case out there. Anywhere in the grays here, we're expecting a dusting, if anything. The blues, 2 to 6 inches of snowfall. Purple, 6 to 10. Pinks, 10 to 20. Pastel blues, like we see, I'm going to try to point out an area that's only the pastel blues. I see a lot of it up here where it's only blue. We see some of it out here where it's only blue. That's going to be about 20 to 35 inches of snowfall. And then for these pinks in here, like we see for the Cascades, the Sierra Nevadas, some of these Rockies as well in here, this is going to be 35 to 48 inches plus. And we can even see a max there of 129 inches, and that is going to be in the Sierra Nevadas this time around. Potentially 100 inches plus for the Sierra Nevadas. Certainly a whole lot of snowfall. Now for the temperature pattern, we're going to be taking a look at this zoomed out map. I feel like this one gets the point across much better. We do see that there is cold air as we move towards officially this morning. We can see that there is certainly cold air in the eastern United States, but also the western United States. This is one of those rare occasions where there's cold air on both ends of the country, really the whole country. Very, very uncommon, I will tell you. Now, this cold kind of sticks around all the way through midweek. And then we get another potent Arctic blast as we approach Thursday into Friday time frame here, where we get back into the greens and blues, certainly far below normal temperatures. Then we get another one perhaps around Monday. This one a little bit more miniature, and we do see the southeast ridge playing a role here, kind of causing some warmer temperatures here across the southeast, as you can see. But we get another strong Arctic blast, and this time around we do have a positive PNA supporting this pattern, so we see the really warm temperatures in here. This forces all this cold air to move straight into the eastern United States because it can't move where that warm blocking is. That is a positive PNA, and it works like water and oil. This cold air will not go where that is until this completely dissipates, so that is why that is so crucial. We see a lot of cold air here. This is Wednesday the 23rd. And then it starts to lift off, potentially. We do get some warm air here across the eastern United States for around Saturday the 26th. But again, this is beyond 300 hours is where I start to take things with a grain of salt. But we do see a negative PNA taking place. And it's the same story. This warm air is going to now move around that pocket because it will not move where the cold air is located. So we go right back to that type of a pattern. We do get what looks like another Arctic blast here trying to take place around Monday the 28th, but this is way far into the pattern. So we're taking this all with a grain of salt. Certainly something to watch, but we will track this every single day, so be sure to tune in with us. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.